Hello Niggame fans, a number of interesting Metroidvania titles crossed my horizon recently, so I thought I'll share with I believe a large number of these never before covered on the channel, so I hope you enjoy. Let's begin with the 2.5D ninja title, Blue. Not the most creative of names, but it does have its charm. In a world where a great evil has been unleashed and former warriors find themselves corrupted by it, play as the last untainted guardian seeking to reclaim the world from your former allies. I'm not the biggest fan of the art style, but I do feel it gradually growing on me, looking a little generic Unity or from some sort of asset pack, but it does look to be cohesive enough to warrant a look. I like the camera transitions when introducing bosses, with what looks to be a dodge roll and a nice variety of weapons. Inspired by Dead Cells, Smash Bros and The Legend of Zelda, of course I'm down for this. I do have to give a very special mention to SJ19 Learns to Love, a very minimalistic Metroidvania that is releasing pretty soon. The developer of this did reach out to me and is the same person behind the awesome mini Metroidvania SpookyGhosts.com, only this time with the sci-fi slant. You play as a killer robot learning to love, so certainly a wholesome theme as well. I've not seen anyone else talking about this next upcoming title, but Rokudo does look absolutely fantastic, being a pixel art entry set in the Japanese realms of the afterlife. I think it looks fantastic, with some disturbing imagery that would be apt for the underworld, having the 6 realms of rebirth in human, animal, spirit, asura, hell, and heaven. It does look to be quite the mishmash of influences, which, based on my own knowledge, does seem to have Buddhist and Taoist ideas as well. As always, stay tuned to this channel to discover the best upcoming titles. A cute little Metroidvania title is Fairy Afterlight, one that at first glance doesn't appear to be one, having more of a puzzle platformer vibe, but does have the requisite boss fights and combat as well. Two friends are working together to gather pieces of the shattered land in order to restore the world, having to defeat bosses and gain their powers in order to do so. I love the look of this, having some The End is Nigh meets Semblance vibes, so is another title of interest. I think that I gave a passing mention to Skyseeker in one of my videos covering new trailers, but I do have to give it another special mention since it's a Metroidvania crossed with monster taming elements, so of course it's my gem. The most recent example of this is the excellent Monster Sanctuary, but instead of Pokemon-style turn-based combat in that, Skyseeker has real-time side-scrolling platforming combat instead, which makes it of interest. The idea of having to capture or tame monsters to use their abilities like flight or swimming is a natural fit for this genre, so I'm excited to see the possibilities in this. However, if I were to have one complaint, it would be that the pixel art doesn't pop as much as I would like, perhaps due to the lack of outlines or the colour scheme chosen, but a title of interest nonetheless. Alright, so I have no idea how to pronounce this, but Mystère Ruins of this Nymph is a Japanese-made 2.5D entry that is of interest, especially due to the steampunk setting and spring wire mechanic. With the success of titles like Bloodstained Ritual of the Night, it's inevitable that this kind of art style should catch on, which is unfortunate since I don't think it looks fantastic, but putting looks aside, it should still be a title of interest. Yes, it's mostly dark corridors and caverns, conveniently explained by the ruins in the title, but the minute-to-minute action does seem to be alright. Grappling hooks are fun if done right, so I do hope that they nail the physics in this, and it remains to be seen if the steampunk setting pans out, although I would love to see more Metroidvanias utilize the setting. I love it when indie games have an especially strong cultural influence, and such is the case with Imp of the Sun, having Peruvian roots in this slick action title. You play as the Imp, a creature forged from the last spark of the sun, on a mission to stop the eternal eclipse before it is too late. There are 4 keepers who stole away the power of the sun, and naturally, you need to travel to the furthest corners of the earth in order to retrieve them. I like the cartoony look of this, with it probably having influences from games such as Ori and the Blind Forest and even Guacamelee in this, with fantastic looking action and a wonderful art style. Seems to be well made and should be a 2021 release. Keep your eyes peeled for the release. The next title is still very early on in development, but Dewborn Dawn does have a fantastic look, mixing somewhat realistic looking backgrounds and environments with cartoony 2D enemies and characters. As far as I can tell, it's about a young chimera who has to travel the world, recruiting allies in order to save a dying world, but the combat does look to be combo focused and pretty good, giving me a little bit of a Dust and Elysian Tale vibe, so support this developer on Patreon if you can. A very special shoutout does go to channel supporter and patron Michelle Franklin, since she's always pointing out fantastic looking indies to me on Twitter, this time being the excellent looking Fallen Tier The Ascension, which made me want to make this video. It's a gorgeous looking hand-drawn title that looks like Indivisible, but without the pseudo 3D environmental objects, sharing the same excellent hand-drawn art and animations, but does have the traditional Metroidvania combat and exploration. It tells the story of a young child who seeks out the 22 fated bonds, having to rally their powers in order to save a loved one, where the different bonds do become part of your party and have powerful combo abilities. While I do love my pixel art titles, this looks absolutely gorgeous as well, shooting to the top of my watch list as well. I absolutely love the look of the very Symphony of the Night looking Plague Huntress as well, a long in development title that I've long had my eye on but wasn't quite ready to be shown off previously. The developers did however recently put out a gameplay teaser trailer where the combination of aesthetics, theme and soundtrack does make me have confidence that they know exactly what they're doing. It's really classic in design, especially due to the animations, having an RPG-style equipment system, and even an expanding talent tree as well, which looks impressive. Really happy that this is still showing signs of life, taking the #1 spot. For even more upcoming Metroidvania titles, check out this video and I will see you after the jump.